Today I want to share with you this new worm bin that I ordered, and this was one of my Christmas presents that I picked out for myself this past Christmas 2022. So here it is, and it's got legs, and it has two shelves here, and I really like it a lot. What is going on with this? I don't know why it keeps going in and out of focus at the moment. You steady? Why don't you focus on my face? There. Okay, so I ordered this from Amazon back in December, and I absolutely love the setup of it. It was marked down quite a bit, and I'll link it in the description in case anyone else is interested. But I chose this bin specifically for the aesthetics of it. I've been wanting to do worm composting for a little worm. I wanted to have my own worm castings. I don't want to compost worms. So I found this bin on Amazon, and I thought it was really cute, and the reviews were decent on it, and it is aesthetically pleasing enough to keep inside the house. So that's why I chose this specific bin. So let me show you what it looks like inside. So here is the worm bin. This is what it looks like. It's on 4 legs. It has 2 trays for holding the worms and a lid. So let's just break this down. The trays have holes where the worms can crawl through, and that if you have any liquid buildup can go through. So here's the second tray. And then here is the base. This is just to catch excess casings that come down here, and to be able to capture any moisture from your bin. From what I have heard on a podcast, you should not have liquid coming from your bin, but if you do, this is where you would release this liquid. So let me just put that up there. So there's a spigot here, and this turns, and then you can release any fluid that might accumulate in this bin. But from what I heard, you're not supposed to have any fluid coming from your worm bin if you're doing it right. So yeah. See how that opens? That's closed. And then open. Open. Okay, so this is how it sets up. You've got your base. Then you've got your bin. This is the bin that I'm going to start the worms in at the bottom. And then when I'm ready to harvest the casings from this bin, then I will start filling up this bin and encouraging the worms to move into this upper bin. And you do that by once you have this set up, then you start putting the food in this one, and eventually the worms will move from here up to here. That's what's supposed to happen. So this whole process for them to do that takes a while, and I'm hoping that by summertime I'll have my own worm castings to utilize in my garden and in my houseplants. I really hope that happens by summertime. So now that I've showed you all of this and its cuteness, let's go ahead and mix up the substrate for the worms. Let me show you what they included. So they included 3 cocoa core blocks, and then they also included some shredded paper. If you don't have shredded paper, you can shred your own paper, printer paper. Probably even shred like cardboard too if you want to get it super small. But this will make up the substrate for the worms. So I'm going to be using the bucket that I typically use for my soil, mixing it up. So I'm just going to take 1 block at a time, and then see how far that gets me. So here's 1 block of the cocoa core. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna add some water. And what you want to do is allow that cocoa core to absorb the water and start fluffing it up. I'm pretty sure I'll probably have to use 2, so I might as well just stick 2 in here. Doesn't hurt. And then you'll also want to moisten this down as well. What I heard to do is just to soak it for like 10 minutes in water and then wring it out. Everything should be moist but not soaking wet for your worm bin. Okay, so the bin is all set up. I moistened the cocoa core, I moistened the shredded paper, and then I decided to add some more paper. This, which I got in order, some order that we placed, it came in there, and I thought this would be perfect for the worm bin, so I saved it. But my only concern is that the substrate is so low in this bin, and I'm just thinking, like, when my worms are ready to transfer up to this one, like, this is like, there's gonna be so like a gap. So I'm just wondering, like, how are the worms gonna get up here if they have this huge gap? So I don't know. I do have more cocoa core that I can moisten and add to the bin. It's just, I don't know if I should. And then as they start making their casings, I don't know if that's gonna build up that soil to make it higher to where they'd be able to reach this one. I don't know. I'm still kind of deciding. The worms are not here yet. I'm waiting on the mailman still, so I still have time to kind of figure this thing out. And if, you know, it comes down to it, I'll just add more cocoa core at a later time if I feel like it's not enough. But so far it looks really good. Everything's moist. Once the worms get here, then we'll just finish up this video waiting on the mailman. So the worms finally arrived. Let's go ahead and open them up and see what it looks like and how they're doing. I ordered them from Buckeye Organics, which is an Ohio company, but they ship everywhere. So I'll make sure to link them. But let's see about opening up these worms. I ordered 1,000 worms because that is what was suggested. And let's check them out. My invoice. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, this is perfect. This is perfect for putting in the worm bin. Can you see that? A mess. I have a sack of worms. Look at this. A sack. You can even see some. Okay. So there are the worms. They packed them in this, which is perfect for the worm bin. Just get it moist and use it in there. Perfect. Okay, so let's move this. It made a huge mess, but let's open up these worms and see what they look like. So I've got my scissors. You just see, I don't think there's anything up here at the top. Okay. Is there a worm on the other part? There's a worm. Where are you going, buddy? All right, let's take a look inside of the worm. Looks like worms and dirt. So now that the worms are opened up, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the substrate so that they can start settling in. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that quickly. Here they are, all the little wormies. So I got the bulk of my worm information or how to from the Joe Gardner podcast. He had a lady on there who is a worm expert, and so I followed pretty much everything that she said along with the instructions that came with this bin. So hopefully these guys will be okay and they'll settle in. So for this first day in the bin, I won't be feeding them. You feed them on day 2. Day 1, they're just supposed to get used to their environment, and then day 2, you start with feeding. One of the things that she mentioned is that most people overfeed their worms, so I'm definitely going to be mindful of that. So it looks like all the worms have burrowed down, and I'm so excited. Yay! So now that they have burrowed in, again, I'm just going to leave them for 24 hours like suggested, and then I'll start feeding them tomorrow. So I am just so excited to have these worms here and to get like this all going. It's suggested that when you first get them, like put them in a bright area to help them burrow down, and that's why I left this lid open for a bit. But yeah, I'm so excited. So definitely check out the podcast, the Vermicomposting podcast by Joe Gardner for more information on this. Again, this is new to me, so I'm following what was suggested on there, and hopefully I'll have a good outcome. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on top. Now that I see how much is in here, I'm not worried that the worms won't be able to get up through here. There is a lot of stuff there, and it does touch the top of the soil, so it should be fine. So I'm going to cover these guys up. And then it's also suggested that you keep them in an area out of bright light. So I'm going to sit them right over here by my fireplace where they can like just be. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions about this worm bin. Again, I'm going to start feeding them tomorrow. They say you should let them rest for 24 hours. And then I'll add something in there. I think I might start with just like small scraps. So maybe like, you know, banana peels, some veggie, a small amount of veggies that we have left over from like dinner or something like that. It's going to be very, very small. I don't want to overfeed them. Like was one of the things that the lady said is one of the biggest mistakes is that people overfeed them, and then people make the substrate like way too wet, way too moist. So that's why I squeezed out all the water, made sure it wasn't dripping, and yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll definitely keep you guys up to date on what's going on with the worms, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.